We're back. Like or
We back.
die. Subscribe or die. Hype or die. Comment or die. Let's jump into it. Show does not start off with a promo. Starts off with the match. Intercontinental Championship qualifier. Oba Femi versus Rey Mysterio. Woo! Oba wins. Then backstage, we cut to Finn Balor on a phone. He's calling Mello. It goes to voicemail. He tries again. It once again goes to voicemail. He decides to try one more time. Mello finally answers. Mello, where are you? I've been trying to get a hold of you for hours now. Oh, I'm on the road right now. Sorry, I couldn't pick up while driving. On the road? Are you still not here? We need you tonight, man. The Undisputed Era outnumber us too much. Oh, man. I can't. I'm just not gonna be there tonight. And even if I was, man, I'm busy with this whole Punk and Roman thing. It would I would totally help you otherwise. Damn. Shit. All right. Finn goes quiet for a second, and Melo says, "Look, man, I know you got this in the bag. You're gonna beat him at Mania." Finn says, "All right. Good luck with everything. See you, pal." He hangs up as he doesn't know who else he can call on to help him now. This is a women's tag team championship qualifier for WrestleMania. Bianca and Jada win. They're going to WrestleMania! Whoa, baby! Oh, this one was fun. We then cut to an interview with Roman at Roman's house. He's in his living room with Jackie Redmond. Look, for the good of this company, Punk has to be put down. There is no other way to put it. He is nothing but a virus to this industry, and I'm going to be the one to take him out. I don't care what it takes. Just as he finishes that sentence, you can hear glass shatter in his kitchen. He looks confused. He gets up to check out what it is. The camera follows him. He turns the corner and yells, "What the hell?" The camera turns the corner not long after him, and we see CM Punk breaking through the window. Roman rushes him. Punk grabs a pan and hits him over the head with it. They then start brawling all over the house. Punk grabs his mounted TV and yanks it off the wall to try to throw it at Roman. Roman ducks and it ends up hitting a cameraman. They start fighting in the hallway near the front door. When we hear a honking on the outside, they ignore it, but suddenly a car crashes through the front door. Roman and Punk stop fighting to look at what just happened. We see the car door open, and out walks Mello. He sees them, and and then he just starts attacking them. They all start brawling. This keeps up for a while until the cops arrive and take away all three men to jail. Even Roman, for some reason, it was his house. He was the one who got attacked. Fuck it, questioning. Uh, then we get this match. This is the number one contenders for the Women's U.S. Championship match. Chelsea is begging Piper to come to her aid. Piper comes to hit Becky, but Becky ducks and Piper hits Chelsea instead. Becky then hits Piper with a manhandle slam. Then she hits one onto Zoe. She goes for the cover. One, two. Nia Jax comes in and breaks it up. Nia then starts beating down on Becky and hits her with an annihilator. Tiffany comes in. She hits a what's her prettiest moonsault ever on Becky. Cover 1, 2, 3. Tiffany is officially the new number one contender for the Women's U.S. Championship. And after the match, Bliss attacks her from behind. She hits her with her title, and then with a Sister Abigail DDT onto the title. Bliss stands tall as we cut to the next segment. So Tiffany goes over. Jordan Jordan Grace is now backstage. She gives an interview saying that she attacked Stephanie last week because she is tired of her always getting in her way. The whole year this whole year had setbacks that were due to her, and she's sick of it. So she's laying down the challenge. Stephanie, if you are brave enough to face me, then face me at WrestleMania. All right. Then Roxanne is minding her business in the parking lot when she gets jumped from behind by Julia. Julia gets her, puts her in between the car door, and closes it, closes it on her time after time. She then picks her up, throws her on top of the car, hits a Northern Lights bomb onto the glass. That's when Rhea runs in and attacks Julia. Julia goes flying off the car. Rhea looks at a downed Rox, quickly picks her up, gets her in riptide position, and hits a riptide off the top of the car onto the asphalt. Rhea and Julia then continue to beat each other down. Security comes to separate them, and Roxanne is getting checked on by doctors. Uh, then we get Kaiser versus Pete Dunne. This is an Intercontinental Championship WrestleMania qualifier. Peter Dunne wins. We then see Roxanne in the trainer's room. Bailey walks in with Lola and says, "Hey, we saw what happened. You could have used some backup back there." Are you seriously doing this to me right now, Bailey? Look, I'm just saying, you could have used the protection. That looked bad. I don't even know how you're gonna be how you're able to talk right now without screaming in pain. Your ribs have to be messed up. Yeah, I think one is cracked. Look, Roxanne, Lola says, we just want to help you. There are no ulterior motives. You joining us would move us all up the card. That's all we want. There are no dominant women's factions around here. The best there is Team Bad, and together we can make them look like a complete joke. We can take this to the next level. Look, guys, I'm flattered, but no means no. All right, Bailey says. Good luck at Mania then. If Rhea and Julia don't injure you out of the match by then. Bailey and Lola walk away as Roxanne looks like she's deep in thought about the decision. And Becky comes into my office saying that she's tired of Nia and she wants to take care of her once and for all. She needs to embarrass her and she wants to do it on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. I give her a smile and say it's a done deal. Then we get main event time. Finn is able to once again get an opportunity to take out some members of the Undisputed Era before his big match at Mania. But just like last time, the numbers game is too strong. This time, JD is in the ring as Roddy hits him with a backbreaker. Finn is about to break up the pin when Cole pulls him off of the apron. Finn rushes Cole. Cole ducks, hits him with a super kick. At this point, the ref has already counted 3. The Undisputed Era take the win. However, they don't celebrate for long as they get right back on the attack on Finn, JD, and Shin. Finn gets handcuffed to the ring post. Shin and JD are put just in his line of sight. Cole yells at Finn that what's about to happen to him is his fault and he should have never come back. Cole and the Undisputed Era take turns beating Shin and JD down. They're relentless. Finn is trying his hardest to break the handcuffs, but he can't. He has tears in his eyes. He's helpless. He can only watch as his family is beaten down. The Undisputed Era gets some chairs and and hits Shin and JD over the head with them 5 times each before stopping. Finn's spirit is broken. The Undisputed Era looks at Finn. Cole gets in his face and says, "It's just you left. I'm going to enjoy ending your career." Finn continues to just look at JD and Shin's lifeless body and says, "You're never going to get away with this." Oh, Finn, I already have. He hits Finn with one more super kick as we end the show. How will Finn beat the numbers? Will he beat the numbers?
Will he beat the numbers?
At this point, he's gonna need the Steiner math numbers.
It's Welcome to SmackDown. It's the April Week 1 episode. We are in the final month of the year. 4 weeks, including this week, away from WrestleMania. So let's just get into SmackDown tonight. And getting into SmackDown, we start immediately with our opening contest between Jade Cargill and Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Towards the end of the match, we see Lyra calling Jade up for the Nightwing when Tatum Paxley comes out. Lyra gets distracted by Tatum coming out and starts yelling at her, who only comes down to ringside. Jade gets behind Lyra and picks her up and connects with the Jaded. She then covers Lyra for the 3, retaining her women's IC title. Ricky Saints is then seen strutting around backstage with his US title around his shoulder when he gets confronted by Malachi Black. Black looks at the US title and then back at Ricky and just laughs. Ricky says, "What? Do you have a problem?" Malachi says, "Not a problem. More just find it funny how someone like you beat someone like Jacob." Ricky says, "Well, if you're interested in how I beat him, how about next week I show you firsthand?" Malachi just smiles and says, "I'll see you there." Solo Sikoa is then backstage speaking with the Gorillas of Destiny. Solo speaks about how they're going to be tag team champions walking out of WrestleMania. Lucha Bros then walk in and says, you guys may think you've accomplished something, but I don't recall you guys ever beating us in 2v2 action. So how about we have ourselves a little match? If you guys are the baddest team on the planet, we would like to put that to the test. Solo tries to dissuade God from taking the match, but Tama Tonga gladly accepts the challenge, and they head down to the ring. We then have Gorillas of Destiny versus the Lucha Bros, in which the Lucha Bros pick up the victory. Kevin Owens is walking around backstage when he comes across Ethan Page. Ethan seems a bit disheveled, and Owens confronts him. Owens puts an arm around Page and says, sometimes the good times have to end for you to become the best version of yourself. Page says, "Yeah, and best of luck against AJ. His ego might have gotten out of control, but I need to warn you, he is every bit as phenomenal as he's ever been." Kevin says, "Trust me, I know what I'm getting myself into. I just hope he understands that I'm as dangerous as I have ever been, and at WrestleMania, there will be a new champion here on SmackDown." Kevin gets up and walks away. Mercedes and Team Bad are interviewed about the upcoming women's tag title match. Mercedes says, "Tonight is a simple approach. We come in, take back our tag titles, and leave. We don't need to make it complicated. We are the best team in this company, and when we are on the same page, no one can stop us. Now, if you don't mind, we have some titles to win back." And then head down to the ring for Team Bad versus Liv and Raquel. Liv and Raquel end up winning the match. Tamina ends up taking the pin, and afterwards, Naomi just has this angry look at Tamina, and Naomi leaves the ring without Tamina. But Liv and Raquel retain their titles. After the match, Mercedes is trying to speak with Naomi as she comes through the curtain. Tamina is also trying to speak with her, but she just storms off. Mercedes and Tamina then come across Cora Jade. Tamina continues on towards Naomi as Mercedes stops. Cora just laughs at Mercedes and says, "Things aren't looking so great, are they?" Mercedes seems upset and says, don't let this make you think you have a chance at WrestleMania. I'm still going to beat you." And she then storms off, chasing after Naomi and Tamina. We then see Big E bring both Kyrie and Asuka into his office. He says, "I know Dakota and Io have a matchup next, and I have brought you two in here to tell you not to get involved in that match. The four of you have been at each other's throats for quite a while now, and I would appreciate it if you could keep your composure." Asuka raises her hand and says she won't interfere in the match. Kyrie just side eyes Asuka and says, "As long as Asuka doesn't interfere, then I won't interfere." We then have the match, Io Sky versus Dakota Kai. Io Sky picks up the win. After after the match, Io exits the ring to leave up the ramp, but she gets driven into the steel steps by Asuka. This causes Kyrie to come down and start attacking Asuka. Dakota then gets involved and shoves Kyrie to the ground and shoves Asuka back. Kyrie then attacks Dakota as Io attacks Asuka. Security once again has to separate the four women. We then go backstage. We see Drew confront Swerve about their upcoming match against Sami and Seth. Swerve says, Drew, before you say anything, I need to make it clear that this is a one-time only thing. Don't think after we win tonight we're going to be buddy-buddy. I still don't like you, but for now, we have a couple of common enemies. Drew says that is exactly what I was wanting to hear. I didn't plan on being your friend tonight, but knowing we have the same goal in mind, I don't see any reason why we don't dismantle Sami and Seth. Cameras then cut over to Sami and Seth speaking about their tag match. Sami doesn't seem too pleased with Seth being his partner, and Seth is trying to game plan with Sami, but nothing seems to be coming across. Eventually, Sami says, Seth, just stop. Tonight is simply business. I'm not going out there to wrestle. I'm going out there to wrestle, and I plan on winning. Either you'll have my back or you won't. Not much thought needs to go into it. Sami's music then plays, and he heads down towards the ring. We then have the match Swerve and Drew versus Seth and Sami. Towards the end of the match, we see Seth Rollins get claymored by Drew, and Drew goes for the cover. Instead of rushing in to break up the pin, Sami just watches on the apron as Drew pins Seth for the 3. After the pinfall, Sami just hops off the apron and leaves. Drew, still on his knees next to a prone Seth, all of a sudden gets house called in the back of the head. Drew now lays motionless on top of Seth as Swerve stands tall. Drew and Swerve pick up the win. Swerve stands tall in the ring. Sami leaps up the ramp, and that is SmackDown.